We always think our financial struggles are rooted in circumstance, but I've seen time and time again that it's actually what we believe about money that holds us back. Our beliefs are what shape our behavior. So, in today's video, I'm sharing the 5 phrases I would no longer say as a millionaire. I'll explain why each one is so detrimental to building your generational wealth and, crucially, what you must do instead to shift your money behavior. If you start practicing these shifts today, you'll be ready to build financial freedom in the upcoming new year. On this channel, we talk about personal finance and self development. Let's dive into these toxic money mindsets. Number 1, money is the root of all evil. I can't quite put my finger on where I first heard this, but growing up Catholic and in an immigrant family, this was the general vibe. It made me feel that wanting money was somehow greedy or evil, which left me deeply conflicted. And here's the real toxicity. As girls and young women, we are constantly taught and praised for being kind, generous, and selfless. So when you combine this message from society with the belief that money is evil, it creates a destructive internal conflict. This is a huge factor in why so many women struggle to negotiate and confidently ask for what they are worth. This belief actively contributes to the wage gap. The idea that, you shouldn't ask for more because it might make you greedy. Of course, when you believe money is evil, you'll most likely avoid it or subconsciously sabotage your own chances at making more. This is classic scarcity mindset in disguise. So as I've gone through life and I've met the most generous and kind, wealthy people, it blew my mind that they were actually kind and generous. And that's when I realized the phrase was a lie. Money is not actually the root of all evil. Money simply amplifies what's already there. Imagine it's like a magnifying glass of your character. If you're a kind, generous, thoughtful person, more money simply means you'll probably do more of those things. So instead, shift into money enables me to do more good and earn what I deserve. Number 2, blank handles it for me. Fill in the blank. Partner, parent, accountant, manager. What this sends to your brain is that you are not in charge of your personal finances. In my opinion, there is no scarier feeling than not knowing what is happening with your money. Hit that like and subscribe button so you can always know what's going on with your money. We hear stories about this all the time. Child actors whose parents or managers drain their money, or married women who are suddenly alone after a divorce or loss. You can outsource the task of managing your money, but you can never outsource the responsibility. Don't confuse convenience with financial safety. You must remain the CEO of your financial life. So the reframe is no one will care for your money as well as you do. So if you have outsourced tasks, you must still conduct the quarterly financial check-ins. Find out, what is the total balance of your investments? What is my net worth? What is my emergency fund at? You don't have to do the actual daily tasks if you don't want to, but you must know your numbers. And look, if there's anything you don't understand, ask your manager to explain. Ask your accountant to explain. Ask your partner to explain. Go to YouTube and search for it. Do not outsource the responsibility of understanding how your finances work. Number 3, I can't afford it. I'm not going to lie, I used to be guilty of saying this all the time. This phrase is a sneaky way that your brain immediately stops yourself from trying anything else. When you say this, it completely shuts down any creative problem solving. For example, if you see a beautiful home on Redfin and you immediately say, I can't afford this, your brain just stops looking for possibilities and accepts defeat, right? So now your brain starts looking at rentals and accepts the first no, which really was yourself. A millionaire mindset doesn't stop. they get curious. They move from helpless to hopeful. So instead of saying, I can't, add a how. Ask, how can I afford this? This simple shift forces your brain to get creative. The solution might come in the form of a higher income, better budgeting, or new income streams. Or if you don't actually want the thing after some reflection, the second best shift is to say, I'm choosing not to prioritize this. This brings you back into full control. Acknowledge that you are being intentional with how you choose to spend your money and pat yourself on the back. Number 4, money's not everything. This is true and also not true. Let's be honest. There are only 2 types of people who truly believe this. One, those who have so much of it, like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They have so much of it that they no longer care about it because they have so much, right? Or number 2, those who don't have it and are trying to convince themselves that they don't want it. When you use this phrase, it's often a coping mechanism that gives you a passive pass to neglect and avoid your money. It's what we tell ourselves when we are too scared to look at our credit card debt or we're too uncomfortable to ask for a raise. It's financial self-sabotage at its best. So yes, money is not everything. But guess what? It enables everything. It enables you to take your mom on that trip that she deserves. It enables you to start that passion project without worrying about the bills. It enables you to leave a job that is draining your mental health. So replace this phrase with, money is a crucial tool that gives me options. Give your personal finances the attention it deserves. Don't neglect it. Number 5. It's too late now. When I was in my 20s, I honestly thought investing was for the rich. Growing up in an immigrant household, we were always striving for savings and spending wisely. But I never actually heard my parents talk about investing or growing your money. That concept was reserved for other people. I never thought that I could or should do it. So in my 20s, I was just busy surviving. So investing was just not even in my mind. And then the thought of starting in my 30s felt overwhelming, like I had missed the whole race. But if I had kept that it's too late mindset, I would have never started. And that delay is the most costly mistake you can make. The regret of not starting is far worse than starting late. The regret of not starting is far worse than starting late. The power of compound interest is real. And let's be honest, the best time to start was 20 years ago. But guess what? The second best time is today. So your age right now gives you wisdom, experience, and earning potential that your younger self didn't have. So shift your energy from it's too late now to now's better than later. Set up that automatic transfer for investing immediately. Even $100 a month in a low-cost fund is 1,000,000 times better than waiting another year. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Look, money is not just about math, it's about behavior. And while we can't control everything around us, what we can control is our own behavior and actions. So you can commit today to unlearning the money stories and beliefs that are holding you back from truly building wealth. So tell me in the comments below, which one of these 5 phrases are you going to commit to dropping? And as we brace ourselves for the season of sales and Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, if you're curious what purchases are worth it and what's not, watch this next video for the 10 things I stopped buying.